Hello everyone and welcome to a new video. I was gonna film and then I couldn't find my thingy for my tripod, and then I'm just sitting here in this awkward angle, but we are fine with it, right? It's fine, it's good. Welcome to my August favorites. August is over, so we're gonna talk about the things I love in August. And I feel like August literally lasted for 200 years. I'm not even joking. I feel like I read the amount of books for 2 months, because I had a readathon where I thought it would take me the whole month, but it took me much less than that because I read so much. I read 37 books. I feel like I literally read 2 months of books. 2 months worth of books in 1 month. And then I watched a lot of stuff. I'm going to talk about it. So let's just go through the stuff I loved watching first. So obviously Sandman came out, which I absolutely adored. It was everything I ever wanted. And it follows Dream, who is the Sandman who gets trapped for 100 years, and we see the consequences of him being trapped for so long by stupid humans, and then just consequences of this, and just a whole series about all the different gods, and I loved it so much. I even filmed the whole review that I never posted. Great work. But it was everything, and it's my top favorite of the whole month. Then another favorite was Stranger Things season 4, which I finally watched. I used a really long time getting to start it because I just waited until all episodes was out, and then you have a watching system, and then I finally watched it and I did quite really enjoy it. I thought it was one of the best seasons, and I really love all the characters, and it was just fun to see them. And I'm excited for the final season, which will be dramatic and sad, and I'm ready. But it was just so intense, and I fell in love with Eddie and everyone, and it was such a good time. So yeah, Jess also joined us for another rewatch for her, and it was the greatest. It was hilarious. But yeah, I had a great time, and I didn't have I'm not the biggest fan of Stranger Things. I didn't have the highest expectations in the world, but I had a really good time. And then, of course, I started House of the Dragon, which only is 2 episodes out now when I'm filming this. I think when this is out, it will be 3 episodes out. Of course I'm loving it. I was very skeptical because, Game of Thrones happened, and I was just can it be like Game of Thrones? Because obviously they are promoting it as it can be. And it is truly giving me first season vibe feels, but in a different way. Because for now, we're only in one place, while in Game of Thrones, we were in several places. And I just love the characters and the vibes and everything. And it's making my Game of Thrones obsessed heart beat, okay? And there's giants, and there's politics, and there is the gore that I was used to from Game of Thrones. And no one is safe. I'm just expecting everyone to die. And it really makes me want to read Fire and Blood, because I still haven't read that, and I should read that. So thank you, Game of Thrones, for that, I guess. And then I also watched The Summer I Turned Pretty, which I ended up really, really enjoying. I wanted to watch it for a while. I know people really loved the show. It's been out for a little while now in the summer. And I read all the books, and they aren't, the most amazing books ever, but they are great entertainment, really cute YA books, YA summary romance books, and the series really captured that. I really liked how we really felt for all the characters, how we started to care for all of them, and it just wasn't just a drama. It's really about family and about so many other things as well, and it ended up being a really, really enjoyable show that I ended up really loving. So I'm giving it, I was about to grade it, which I didn't do with any other stuff, so sorry about that. And Asian main character, love to see it, and it just really had those summer vibes that you got from the books, and since it was also airing in the summer, it's great. And it's also renewed for next season, so I'm really ready for that, to watch that and cry, and I would definitely watch that. So it was just very cute and summery, and it was a perfect show for what it was. It really was. And then I started The Boys, which I only watched 1 season of, so we have a watching system, so I probably won't watch the rest for a while, which I didn't know a lot about. I knew it about people who had powers, but I didn't know anything more than that. So I was just let's watch it, let's chill, let's watch it. I didn't know it was going to be so brutal and gory and really, really adult. It is very adult, which I don't mind at all. I don't get easily, I was going to say, triggered or stuff like that, personally. I think it's sometimes fun to just watch everyone, I was gonna say, go banana nuts, but I was not expecting it. I was oh, Okay, well, like, you know, in the first scene in the first episode where the thing that makes everything happen happens, you're just like, oh, it's this kind of show. I see. Yeah, basically superheroes are bad. And no one told me that The Boys is basically Steelheart by Brandon Sanderson. Just that is YA and this is adult. It literally has a very similar plot and very similar like vibes. So I was just like, interesting. But overall, really did enjoy it. The characters are horrendous, but it is done really, really well. And I think the show was really interesting. It has a weird humor, weird setup. It is absolutely horrible, and read into the trigger warnings before watching this. But for me, it is kind of show that I can watch and be like, oh my god, did they really just say that? Okay, let's watch it. Like, I was like appalled of what they said, because obviously that's not what stuff people say or like what they do. And then I just enjoyed it a lot. So yeah, that was a ride, not at all expected. And I will probably watch season 2 and 3 sometime this year. Who knows, actually. Our watching system is really weird, so yay. And yeah, that's all the things I watched. I mean, not all the things I watched. That's all the things I watched that I would recommend a lot here. I watched more stuff and I also rewatched a lot of stuff because that's what we do. Like, I'm still rewatching Supernatural. And I'm soon done with Merlin, which we also have a weird system for. So like, I watch a lot of other stuff too. But like, those are the ones that are top notch that I will recommend a lot for different reasons. It's different stuff here. I was gonna post the Salmon review sometime. I don't know if it's still gonna happen. And I was also gonna post House of the Dragon reviews, but I don't know if that's gonna happen. I don't know why I'm like this, okay? It's hard. It's hard to be me, obviously. Okay, so for my favorite book, because I was just looking through my list for the month, like, what did I read? Because I read 37 books, it's a lot of books. And I really feel like while I enjoyed a lot of the books I read, some I didn't enjoy like as much, but like while I enjoyed a lot of them, like most of the books I read were 4 stars, which is great. Did I love something? Did one book stand out that I could recommend above all the other ones I read? And I have one. I have one, and that was actually the last book I read for the whole month, which I ended up loving so much that I was just like, why am I loving this? It's almost annoying. And that is, I'm gonna show you, that is A Close and Common Orbit by Becky Chambers. And yes, I am as shocked as you are, because I read the first book and I did really enjoy it, but I didn't love it. I gave it 4 stars and I did have a good time with it, but I didn't love it. But the feeling I got when I read this, dang, it was deep into me. So this is a super slow-paced book. And it's really just about character. It's a character-driven book. And I don't even like character-driven books. I mean, I like them, but like, I prefer crazy plots that like leaves me shook in my bones. And there's literally nothing here that leaves you shook in your bones. And I absolutely adored it. I read it like over 3 days because I didn't bother starting another book because it was just 3 days left of the month. And it was everything. I was so invested in these characters, and it was almost a bit like, what am I doing? So this follows Lovelace from the first book, and then she was an artificial intelligence that were now into a body, and she needs to adjust to this life, and one of the people taking care of her or like helping her adjust to this life is called Pepper, and she has a past where she was once called Jane, and Jane used to grow up in like this factory as a slave basically, and then she has escaped, and then we need to learn like how she was alive and if like how she came to be where she is now, because obviously we know that she has this different life as Pepper, obviously, so we know they're the same person, and we just need to go to that point. And it's just, I got goosebumps. It was just, I was so invested in just Jane and her in her ship, and I was just so invested, and I was just like, why do I care so much? Why? I don't know, but it was everything. And then we have, you know, Lovelace, that, wow, she just changed her name, but whatever. How she just life, and how she just realizes so many things in this new body, and just life and people. And I was just like, stop making me care about this. And it was just like, I was, as I said, I was in it. When I read it, I couldn't think about anything else. I was like, when I was done reading for today, I was lying in my bed and was just like thinking about the book, like, what's gonna happen? Even though you know ish how it's gonna happen, you know Pepper is there. But it was just like how it all came together, and in the end I literally was teary-eyed because it was so emotional. And I gave it 5 out of 5 stars, okay? When a book really seeps into your soul like that, and it gave me like that feeling where like I'm in A right now, I cannot help it. I cannot help it. Realistically, it should be a 4-star book in my head, but I gave it 5 stars because of how it made me feel. I was invested. And yeah, so now I am addicted to the series. Or am I addicted? But now I'm in love. So now I have high expectations for the 3rd book. And if it's not as good, I will be severely disappointed. But I have this thing sometimes where literally the 2nd book keeps being my favorite in a lot of like series. That was a thing to think about. So maybe I will never ever reach that high again. But it was such a ride, and I was just so invested. I don't know why, but I became so invested in these characters. I just cared a lot about them. If you don't care, you won't care about this book. But yeah, that was my favorite. And what else did I do in August? I worked my ass off, actually. Like, I don't think I worked so much in August and in the end of July, like the last week of July, that I ever worked in my entire life. So like I almost had no days off, and that was okay. It was fine, but I just didn't have time for anything. How did I read 37 books? I was just about to say, how did I have time for anything? And then I still read 37 books. I worked so much this month. I have no idea how I did that. Well, either way, that was past Sandra's abilities apparently. But yeah, forward, I am also working much more in the bookstore instead of the bingo. Like, I dropped 1 day in the bingo. I used to work 3 days a week, then I will only do 2. And now I'm doing like many more shifts in the bookstore, which I love because, you know, it's a bookstore, it's a bit more to do. The bingo, you just sit there, it becomes a bit tedious after a while. But I used to just read at the bingo, and now I can't read that much in the bookstore. So that means I have less reading time, but a more enjoyable workspace. So I needed to sacrifice something, but I still think I will read a lot because I would just do it when I get home, etc. It's all good. The bookstore is like hard work compared to the bingo though, and I'm just like, my body can take this. I'm used to just sitting here. I mean, I think that's good for me, but it's just like, why did I do this to myself? Why did I choose to suffer? That is what I'm thinking. And then I also had the Facing Gates readathon, which was like my first readathon that I hosted, like 24-hour live or otherwise. Like, I haven't hosted a readathon before. I have done a reading challenge, but I haven't done a readathon host before, which was lots of fun. I got sick the day the readathon started. We were going to be live for 24 hours, so I took like a cheeky 4-hour nap by accident. It was going to be a 1.5 hour, and then I just never returned, but I did return in the end, so it's all good. But yeah, that was really fun, and I had a great time, and hopefully you will do more like here and there readathons and like other type of readathons for Facing Gaze as well. That was like basically the month, I think. I played a lot of Genshin. That was a thing. I started playing Genshin a lot again. I got Chongli, which I've been wanting to get since I started the game, and I'm so happy. He's so handsome. I've just been grinding a lot to get up a level. So yeah, that was that update. And in the end, I would just want to say that I launched my Patreon now. It is live, and we're gonna do lots of fun stuff together. So hopefully, if you want interested to join, or if you have the means to do so, of course, no pressure. It is linked down below. So yeah, I'm thinking lots of fun stuff will happen there. So yay. And yeah, check it out if you're interested. So now I'm gonna go. Thank you so much for watching this bit longer favorites video because I had a lot to talk about. Leave a planet emoji down below if you enjoy this. Star emoji? What fit for this even? Or a ship emoji. That's a better one. A ship emoji down below if you enjoy this. And you will see me soon in a new video. Check out my Patreon down below if you want to. Bye!